If I was as cool as Oprah, this would be a really big deal to share with you guys. A book pick, an Instagram pick, and a YouTube pick. Hey guys, welcome back. So we are starting a new little series here on this channel, and it's going to be called, I think, Ask Angie. And basically what it is in a recent video I asked you guys what kind of videos you wanted to see, and a lot of you asked for some of my more sit-down videos to come back where I just talk to you about things or answer questions, that sort of thing. I used to do a few videos called Sunday Small Talk, and that was basically where I would just sit down with my coffee and talk to you guys about, I don't even know, anything and everything that was going on in the world. And I would usually share with you some kind of other channel or TV show or something like that that I was enjoying. But here's what I thought I would do, is that I would start this back up and it would be an Ask Angie series. You can always use that hashtag like on Twitter or whatever if you want to leave me a question. I will leave my Twitter down below. I've been trying to be better about using it and understanding it, so go find me on Twitter if you are active on Twitter. If anybody wants to take me under their Twitter wing, teach me how to Twitter.
Teach me how to Twitter. Teach me how to Twitter.
Somebody help an old lady out. So I'm gonna take a question that I got in that last video and kind of use that one to kind of kick off today. And then I also am just gonna share a book that I really want to share with you guys and just a few other little things. So this is like if you and I were gonna go meet for coffee. If you were like, call me up and you were like, hey girl, I would like to have a cup of coffee. You want some coffee? And I was like, hey girl, let's go have some coffee. This is like what we would be talking about at that like little coffee date. The question that I want to tackle today is, how do we afford 7 kids? Number one, when we first started having children, we did not have a lot of money. We made choices based on what we prioritized in our life. And so at that time, the priority was that I wanted to, and still is, that one of us would be the main care provider for our children. That was just a priority for us. It's not for everybody. So please, this is just our journey, our story. It is not an indictment on anybody who doesn't do things this way. But for us, that was a priority, that myself or my husband was the main caregiver for our children. We didn't want to do daycare or anything like that. So CR got a job right out of college. I got pregnant with Kennedy and I had to quit my job because I was so sick. But so he started working for a bank, a large nationwide bank, and you know, just kind of slowly started kind of rising up within his company, but that wasn't enough for us to really live on. Yes, straight out of college jobs don't pay a lot, people. So I have always had some kind of a side hustle. I have always found some way to contribute financially to our family, not just because we needed it, but because I also enjoyed it. I always needed something more. And I can go into that in a separate video, and I am going to go into that in a separate video and kind of some more that I want to talk about that, because not every woman finds complete fulfillment in being a stay-at-home mom. Doesn't mean that's not still a priority to her, but she doesn't feel completely fulfilled that way. And that's my story. So I want to share that and kind of explain more. But anyway, so I have always sought out other ways I could contribute to our family financially, whether it was selling Avon, selling things on eBay, selling things on Craigslist. I mean, there was a time that I went through our house and was like, anything that wasn't nailed down and we didn't absolutely need, I sold it to help us financially. So I've always kind of done things like that. CR's always worked his main, you know, job. And then for many years, I think about 6 years or more, maybe 6 or more years, 6 or 7 years, he worked for a company here that is like a baseball league for kids who are, you know, like talented baseball players and trying to like go beyond just playing at their schools. It's like I don't even know. Look, I know nothing about sportsing, okay? It was baseball, he was a coach, they paid him. That's all I know. It was really rough though, because he was gone 2 or 3 nights a week coaching and then on weekends for games. And so that was when Kennedy and Shelby were little, and I was alone with them a lot. When we took family vacations, it was usually I took the girls and went with my parents somewhere, because we couldn't really afford vacations, and CR could never come. He was always coaching. So there was many years spent like that, where we were just barely scraping by. And then we got a few little breaks here and there with Ciara's job and everything. And then when Shelby was about 1.5, I said, I don't think this is necessarily always the way you should do things, but if your personality type is right, it can work. I said, I think I want to be a photographer. In case I've never told you this, I failed. I didn't fail. I dropped out of so I wouldn't fail my photography class in high school. But I was like, I think I want to be a photographer. I really enjoy taking pictures, and I think I want to be a photographer. And more than that, I think I want to be a newborn photographer. I mean, talk about random. So we had just paid off Ciara's car a little while before that, and we kind of took that. We went to the bank and they gave us a small loan against his car, and I used that to buy my first camera, to set up my website, to take some online classes, to take a in-person mentoring class with another newborn photographer. I am the kind of person, when I decide I'm going to do something, it's like I hop on the computer, here I go, Google, and away I go. And that's exactly what happened. I taught myself how to start a business. I taught myself how to do photography. I wasn't great in the beginning. I mean, I was pretty terrible, but I learned really, really quickly. And through trial and error, I learned what I was doing. And within my first year of business, I'd gone from like asking people for like 25 or 50 bucks just to like do a session, to charging hundreds, and then later even up into the thousands of dollars for sessions and work that I was doing. But I ran that business for, gosh, 5 or 6 years. It was a very successful business for me, and that really helped our family. That kind of coincided at the same time as we began our adoptions. As you guys know, we've been really honest about the fact that, especially when we first started adopting, we barely made more per year than it cost to adopt. So we absolutely relied on doing fundraisers, bake sales, t-shirts, yard sales. I mean, again, selling anything that wasn't nailed down. We sold these dolls. I mean, all kinds of things I did. And so that kind of brings us, I feel like this could be a whole nother video talking about all of these things. But so basically what it boils down to is Ciara's had a corporate job for the entirety of our marriage. He has worked also as a coach part-time, and I have always run some kind of business on the side. Now, I retired from my photography business right before Rosie came home. And at that time, I had decided that I'd already started my YouTube channel, and I had decided that I was going to figure out how to make this a business for me. I enjoyed it. I did it purely for pleasure. For that period of time, it wasn't a business. It was just a hobby, something I really enjoyed doing. And I do believe that if you can find something you love doing and you can find a way to make money at it, marrying passion and purpose and all of those things can be a beautiful thing. And it can be just like such a life-giving, perfect way to generate money. I think we have this idea that making money has to be miserable, that like we have to work at some job we hate and loathe, and we hate going to work every day to make money, because that's just what you do. You put your nose down and you grind, and that's how you make money. Now, I'm not saying that you don't put your nose down and you grind, because we've been grinding hard for a few years now. But yeah, so a couple of years ago, I again started learning that, it was possible to make an income through blogging and vlogging and having a YouTube channel and kind of like that sort of like social media stuff. Here we are. Now at this point, we have 7 children. My husband is still working at his corporate bank job, which he enjoys. He loves the people he works with so much. And I work here. This is my job. I know that it's really sometimes hard for people to understand that this is a job, but anybody who does it could tell you how much work goes into this job. I put in just as many hours as my husband does at his corporate job. And so I've had to get really creative with how I make that work in our lives in order to still have my children and being a mom be the like number one thing that I do, but have this like full-time job that kind of has to ride right alongside of that. All right, so hopefully that answered your Ask Angie question of the week. All right, because I know I'm gonna get asked, I just wanted to mention this top I actually just got on clearance. It's a Free People top, and it's, let me see if I can, it's really, really oversized. It's like really oversized, but it has like these long sleeves and kind of like a boat neck here. Sorry, kind of see my bra through there. You can like stretch it out and make it off the shoulder or off one shoulder or not, whatever you whatever floats your boat in that regard. So I will put a link to this because I feel like it's a pretty good price, especially for a Free People top, and it was on clearance. So I got a medium. I would definitely, if I went back, I would probably want a small because it's pretty big and oversized, so definitely size down. And then these earrings are Noonday earrings. These are the Steadfast earrings. They're just like a gold, kind of a leaf shape, and they have a tiny like little pearl drop here. Absolutely love these earrings. I've been wearing them so much. So I will link to those down below. So what I'm going to do is each one of these videos, after I answer the question, I'm going to share with you guys a book pick, an Instagram pick, and a YouTube pick, which is going to be like things I think you should check out. I wanted to share with you guys a book that I really enjoyed. I actually read this book before Rosie came home, and it's called An Uncomplicated Life, and it's a father's memoir of his exceptional daughter by Paul Daughtry. And this book gave me such, it's the story of his daughter with Down syndrome, and she, all the things that she went on to accomplish and do in her life and go to college, and it was just such an uplifting, encouraging book. It's a thick book, but I'm telling you, I flew through it. I think I read it in 1 or 2 nights. I mean, I stayed up until like 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 nights in a row. That's kind of how I am with a good book, like a good memoir. I will read it in a day or 2. That's how you know I really, really, really love a book, is I will read it in 1 or 2 days, no matter how big it is. And I'm like Belle, walking around with my book, just my nose in my book, while I'm doing other tasks. So I will put a link to this book if you are interested in it. It's definitely one I would recommend. My Instagram pick for this week is Jennifer Allwood, and I actually heard her interviewed on a podcast recently, and I fell in love with her. She is this just like amazing, fierce, it's just like this big curly blonde hair. She wears like colored glasses. She's everything I want to be. I love her. She's great. So she has this site called Magic Brush, and really she's like it says on her Instagram page, I mean, she's like a business strategist, especially for women, and she has a podcast. She is just very real and authentic and funny. I really just enjoy following her. And I mean, I love her like home stuff because it's not just this, don't get me wrong, guys, I love the farmhouse, Joanna Gaines, shiplap, all the things, but her aesthetic is more than that, and I really like it. I like that she's not like afraid to use color and things like that. So I just have really enjoyed her Instagram and following her and listening to her podcast. She just has a very infectious personality, and so I will put a link to her Instagram down below. Go over there, tell her hello, and tell her that I sent you. And also, she has a puppy named Stella, just like we do. So definitely go check out Jennifer Allwood. And now for my YouTube pick of the week. If I was as cool as Oprah, this would be a really big deal that like every week I'm gonna pick a book, and I'm gonna pick an Instagrammer, and I'm gonna pick a YouTuber. And if I was Oprah, I would pick those things, and then you guys would go and you would be like, oh my gosh, and everybody would buy the book, and then the book would become a bestseller just because I recommended it. But I'm not Oprah. But still, go give these people some love, because I promise you, they totally deserve it. So as far as YouTube goes, you guys have to check out, if you are not already following her, my friend Allie. Her channel's called Allie Richmond. She has triplet girls. They are the cutest things you have ever seen. Their names are Scarlett, Dawson, and Emerson. They're so cute that it like hurts me. They're so cute. I love following her. I like following her on Instagram too. She does a ton of Instagram stories, but when she does like her day in the life videos on her YouTube channel of like a day in the life of triplets, it always makes me feel like I should never be complaining about like how difficult it is to have twins, because she has 3 babies at the same time. Holy moly. She's also a really tiny little fun-sized person, and seeing how she possibly carried those 3 babies, I think she made it to 35 weeks in a few days. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. She's just the best. She just has like such a great sense of humor. You guys will really like her. She's just fun. She's, again, I like to share people with you guys that I think are like fun and infectiously fun. You watch them and you can't help but feel a little happier. So I will leave all that linked down below, the book, the Instagram, and the YouTube channel I recommended. So please go check them out and tell them that I sent you. Give them some love, please. I don't think I should be saying please. I think I should be saying you're welcome, because I think you guys are really gonna like them as much as I do. Okay guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you like this new Ask Angie format, if you want to see these each week. Each week we could do this. Each week. And maybe I'll answer some more fun questions. And yeah. All right, that is it. Like this video. Subscribe to our channel if you're not already. All that stuff. Go find me on Twitter if you want to teach me how to tweet. And find me on Instagram because I know how to Instagram hard. That's all, folks. See you soon. Bye.